Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma Tribal Council regular session will come to order. Let us stand for opening prayer and a flag salute, please. Chaplain.
Our Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. What a privilege it is, Father, to have another day to serve you and to serve our people. And we ask, Father, for your wisdom to direct us, to guide us and lead us, Lord. And help us, Father, to listen to our people and to know their hearts and what their needs are, Father, that we all may always be mindful that we hold these positions, Lord, because of you and because of the people that we serve. And Father, just be with us, give us the strength, give us the wisdom and the guidance, Father. And we just can continue to ask for blessings upon our people, that you continue to bless our great nation. And we thank you for that, Father. We know that all good things come from you, and we give all the glory to you, Father. Be with us throughout this day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in the Choctaw flag salute, please. I
salute the flag of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, whose members, characterized by tenacity, resilience, and belief in God, will forever honor its
station of faith,
family, and culture.
Oh, man, may be seated. Thank you. Roll call.
Thomas Williston.
Here.
Tony Ward.
Here.
Eddie Bohannon. Jess Henry.
Here.
Ron Perry.
Here.
Jennifer Woods.
Here.
Joey Tom.
Here.
Perry Thompson. James Dry.
Here.
Anthony Dillard.
Here.
Robert Carr.
Here.
James Frazier.
Here. Approval of minutes, regular session, August 10, 2024. Do I hear a motion for approval?
Mr. Speaker, I make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions or comment? Vote.
Speaker Williston.
Yes.
Tony Ward.
Yes.
Jess Henry.
Yes.
Ron Perry.
Yes.
Jennifer Woods.
Yes.
Joey Tom.
Yes.
Perry Thompson. James Dry.
Yes.
Anthony Dillard.
Yes.
Robert Carr.
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
All right. Alito, everybody. Good morning. Each month we recognize a special person from each district. And this month we're honored to recognize the Veteran of the Month from District 12, Mr. Gary Lindley. Is he present?
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker, he is.
Okay, Mr. Lindley, would you approach the podium, please, and join Councilman Frazier, please.
Good morning, sir, and thank you for your service. Here's a citation. Whereas Gary Lindley was born June 20, 1947 in McAlester, Oklahoma. He grew up in Savannah, Oklahoma, attending Savannah School through high school graduation. He joined the National Guard in 1967 and later served in the Army for 2 years, including a 12-month tour in Vietnam, where he developed lasting friendships. He enjoyed the rich history of military service, with several uncles serving in WW2. He has many cousins who served in Vietnam. These patriotic connections encouraged his enlistment. Whereas Mr. Lindley was sent to Fort Ord, California for basic training, then immediately to Vietnam. After his tour of duty in Vietnam, he returned to Fort Ord, California for the remainder of his service time. He particularly enjoyed his phase is his enlistment because of the able to tour areas and appreciate the beautiful countryside, amazing architecture, and the rich history of the old monastery surrounding Fort Ord. Upon his return to Oklahoma, he worked at the McAllister Army Depot, Ammunition Depot, and later became a head security at Arrowhead after it was purchased by the Choctaw Nation. He then moved to McIntosh County Sheriff's Department, evidently rising to the rank of undersheriff. During this time, he met his wife Carol, who was the county treasurer. They have been married for 27 years. Additionally, he served a term at the McIntosh County Commissioner as a McIntosh County Commissioner, where he enjoyed working with his crew and family atmosphere that he helped create. He also served 5 years as the commander of Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 3 in McIntosh County before his retirement. He holds his Choctaw heritage in high regard, influenced by his full-blooded Choctaw grandfather and his mother, who was half Choctaw and half Irish, and instilled in him a strong pride in their heritage. He expresses gratitude for the leadership of Chief Gary Batten, Assistant Chief Jack Austin Jr., and Assistant Chief Jack Austin Jr. Whereas the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma holds its veterans in the highest esteem, appreciates the sacrifice contributions they have made to preserve our freedom and the way of life we hold dear. Whereas the Choctaw Tribal Council of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma that takes great pride in honoring Gary Lindley as Veteran of the Month. Now, therefore, pursuant to the motion of Chief Gary Batten, the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma extends to Gary Lindley sincere accommodations and directs that this citation be presented. Signed by Chief Gary Batten, Assistant Chief Jack Austin Jr., and Councilman James Frazier, District 12. Again, we appreciate you. Let me just comment on Mr. Lindley here for a second. He is a strong leader for our group at District 12 at Crowder. I really appreciate his forwardness. He says what's on his mind. He don't stumble around about it, and that's what I do appreciate that. So, and I appreciate him volunteering when things need to get done. He is, kind of like your wife, Carol, out there. She volunteers big time too. And I know when my wife volunteers, we know who gets to help and go. So that being said, I appreciate you so much. And another note, I'd just like to say a happy birthday to your wife today. The day is her birthday. So, thank you, sir.
Oh, kind of stay with me here for a second. I got to say something. You know, he read as a county commissioner. I used to be a politician. You know, I can't let this go by. You know, I want to thank the Choctaw Nation so much. I am a proud Choctaw. Very proud. My mother instilled in me Choctaw pride. I'm breaking up. I love this tribe so much. I want to thank Chief Batten, Assistant Chief Austin, the whole council, especially Mr. Frazier, my councilman. I was born in 1947. I'm 77 years old. Some of you younger people out there, I went to spent a few days in the hospital at Tallahassee, the old hospital. When I got my CDIB, you went to Tallahassee to a little one-room office. That's where you got your CDIB. My goodness, look what the tribe has done because of leadership. I wish my mother could be alive. If nothing else, just see the headquarters that do ran. That's all I have to say. I just appreciate y'all so much.
Mr. Lindley, let's see back there. Let's see. Mr. Linley, we want to present to you this as well.
If your wife would like to join you.
Now, yes. This is what. Any other family members here?
No, just us.
Okay.
Face that forward a little bit so there's not a glare. There we go. All right, thank you.
Mr. Lindley, on behalf of all tribal council, we certainly thank you for your service. Thank you for the sacrifice that you and your family had made for the Choctaw Nation, Choctaw people, and this nation. So thank you very much. Also, we as council, we're honored again to recognize an individual from District 12. We honor our first language speakers each month, and today we're going to honor Miss Jean Hancock Cameron. Is she present?
Yes, she is, Mr. Baker.
Ms. Cameron, would you approach the podium, and Councilman Frazier?
I'm telling you to hurry. The right side. Okay. Jean Hancock Cameron, daughter of Jeff Hancock, full-blood Choctaw, and Annie and Sharkey Hancock, full-blood Chickasaw, reside Ash Creek Community, attend elementary classes on campus at Eufaula Boarding School. Then attended grades 7 to 12 at Eufaula Public School, where she graduated with honors. Speaking your native language was prohibited, but she learned the Lord's Prayer in sign language by studying books and watching AC Blue Eagle when he signed off before midnight on Channel 8 KTVX when it was in Muskogee. She performed this numerous times for school assemblies. She was honored when Chief Belvin asked her to be Choctaw Princess, then was declined by the staff at the boarding school, thinking it would be a hardship on her parents for her to attend functions. You're still a princess to me. So, work is a blessing that's written in the Bible, Ecclesiastes, and she has enjoyed all her jobs, most notable working for BIA in Muskogee when they processed Cherokee per capita payments. She was allowed to go into the vault, which held original tribal allotments, dolls, books, etc., to determine heirship. Then she transferred to Jones Academy to be a junior high girls counselor, giving back what she received at Eufaula. A widow, she also is very proud mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother to a son and 3 stepdaughters and their families. A retiree, she is active with District 12, James Frazier, Councilman Colgate Crowder, participates in their activities and does community volunteer work. She also took Choctaw language classes offered by the tribe. A member of the Body of Christ, she attends Ash Creek Union Church, where she is the secretary, treasurer, pianist, janitor, dog catcher, no, I'll just and helps maintain Ash Creek Cemetery. Land for the church and cemetery was given by her great aunt, full-blood enrollee. Jean is glad her parents instilled in her to respect, study, and work hard, share, and think of needs of other peoples. Have fun, but most of all, have God in your life. And as for a fun share, she shares this. This Indian had a small horse ranch and raised beautiful horses. His non-Indian neighbor down the road always wanted one. Finally, a deal was made, and the neighbor took an outstanding pinto. A few days later, the neighbor returned and said, Indian, Indian, and nodded in reply. Neighbor said, you know that horse you sold me? Indian nodded in reply. Neighbor said, did you know he was blind in one eye? Indian replied, I told y'all he not look good on one side. That's Jean Cameron for sure. And she's got many more of those. But this is her certificate. Certificate of Recognition, Jean Hancock Cameron. Now, if you'll read that in the Choctaw language for me. Thank you, Jean. Presented on this 14th day of September in the year of 2024. You see Chief Gary Batten Miko, Assistant Chief Jack Austin Jr., and James Frazier, District 12. This is your presentation. You're very welcome. This, I have, whoa, look at that. All right.
You'll scoot out just a tad. Scoot this way just a little bit. Scoot out this way.
Yes.
Yeah, away from the desk.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, do you have family you want up here with you? Oh, yes, and friends. Come on in.
Run down there, Robbie.
Robbie and Ron.
Won't let me turn that in.
Yeah, this is
It's mine. Yeah, ham it up.
Yes, Jean is a very lovely lady that is my princess for District 12. She's always been there at the community, helping out, volunteering, just like Mr. Lindley does, and just like many of our other District 12 people. We appreciate them so much and their support. So anyway, Jean, you want to say a few words?
Oh, well, thank you. I will take this moment. I was looking through the Bible the other evening, well, last night, matter of fact, and I found this and I thought how apropos for the meeting today. And this is Ishtanopa 11:14, which is Proverbs 11:14. Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. So I say to the chief, assistant chief, and all the council people, thank you for your wise leadership and statesmanship endowed to the Choctaw people. And as it said, there is, safety in numbers. So we thank you for watching after our safety and our security. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you, Jane, for help preserving our sacred Choctaw language. So thank you very much. This time I'd like to recognize some young folks with our YAB group. Stand and tell us who you are right quick.
Halito. Halito, my name. Halito, my name is Chastity Busby, and I am the YAB advisor for the McAllister, Wilburton, and Crowder chapter. Today we have YAB students from 4 different chapters, and so without much further ado, I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Izzy Bedford. I'm from the McAllister chapter.
Halito Sahochafoyet. I'm from the, Leila Hosani. I'm from the Crowder chapter.
Alito, my name is Savannah Cantrell and I'm from the Wilburton chapter.
Hello, my name is Piper Wardick, and I'm from the Wilburton chapter.
Halito, my name is Tessa Jones from the Clayton chapter.
Halito, I'm Laura Gilmore, and I'm a YAB advisor for the Atoka, Colgate, and Clayton chapters.
Halito Sahochafoyet, Daniel Jackson from the Clayton chapter.
Halito, I am Liam Taylor from the Wilburton chapter.
All right. Thank you, kids, for showing up, and we're gonna have some presenters here shortly, and very knowledgeable people. So I ask you to pay attention to what they have to tell us. All right. So thank you for coming. Public comments. I see we have none. We'll move right along. We're gonna recognize Assistant Chief Jack Austin. He's gonna make a presentation over our overall tribal budget in brief. Assistant Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Appreciate that very much, and we'll try to be as brief as we can. And it is good to see our YAB students here with us to learn more about our Choctaw Nation government and the processes. It's always good to see you here with us and to recognize our Veteran of the Month and our first language speaker. Thank you very much for carrying that torch for us. But this morning, Mr. Speaker, I want to say halito and good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present our budget for this year as we had in past years. This year's budget includes the divisions of Commerce, Health and Services, Integrated Services, Communications, Finance, Legal and Compliance, and Strategy and Analytics. We also have our Judicial branch that is on the line today that's going to be presenting as well. For those in attendance and online, the 2025 budget was prepared and presented to the Tribal Council on August 15th to allow time and properly review to formulate questions. This leadership team, along with Chief Batten and I, met with the Council's Financial Committee on August 19th, again to review the budget and clarify any questions they may have. The Council Financial Committee also met with our Health and Service leadership on September 6th to also clarify any further questions. And I want to say this to assure anyone present or listening online that this is not the first time that our Tribal Council has seen the budget. This is a very rigorous process for our budget owners and the leadership team, of whom I am very proud of. They are all in attendance today, along with our Tribal Council, whose due diligence in this process has been admirable. Yakoki to each of you for the time dedicated to the sustainability of our tribe through this process. As far as the financial information, our leadership team will be diving into the details of their respective area. For an overall view, and I give these numbers in rounded numbers, not to the penny, but the revenue this year in round numbers is $2.7 billion. Operating expenses, $1.8 billion. Maintenance capital, $76 million. Cost of goods sold, $493 million. Net revenue and operations, $390 million, which goes towards 52 approved or planned projects for 2025, such as housing, road repairs, remodel at some of our business locations, water projects for some of our communities, 2 new community centers, Durant and Podo. And in healthcare, we're planning for expansion of facilities and services at the McAllister and Broken Bow clinics, new wellness center and expansion to some of our wellness centers, and child care center expansion at Idabel and Stigler with new builds for 2 new centers. All to name a few things for this year. The remainder will go into sustainability fund. And as a reminder for everyone, this fund was developed to sustain critical services in case threats to our funding sources become a reality. Today, we see those threats to sustaining that funding in the form of our current economy and the struggle with inflation. People across our reservation and the nation do not have the disposable cash as they once did a year or 2 years ago. What does that mean? Simply put, our families aren't traveling as much or visiting our businesses as often. They're concentrating on meeting their family's needs. And we all know the realities of the economy when we go to the grocery store and see the increased cost. Who would have thought that we saw a dozen of eggs for $4 and $5 a dozen? The threat of Texas gaming is real and would be a $400 million impact to our tribe. The voices in support of gaming in Texas are growing louder and louder. The voices in support, excuse me, the voices in the Texas administration become increasing louder and louder as well. And I know we have our government relations folks here that can attest to those details. If gaming was passed in Texas, for us to invest in it would be a $2 billion investment at a minimum. At a rate of 6% rate of growth in tribal membership, yearly rate growth, the cost to deliver services continues to rise, causing our businesses to work harder at generating more revenue in an already struggling economy. In the past, we were not financially sovereign, causing us to lose land and critical resources. And I do not believe any of us would want to replicate the federal government's handling of financial resources. Despite the threats to any of our funding sources, Chief Patton, myself, and this leadership team presenting today work diligently towards a balanced budget to meet the demands of today while planning for our future generations to come. And at this time, I want to invite Martin Tucker, the CFO for the Choctaw Nation, to come up for a short presentation, followed by our divisional leadership. Thank you.
Good morning, Martin Tucker. I'm the Chief Financial Officer, and I wanted to give a framework, just a brief picture of the overall budget, because you're going to hear it presented by the divisions. Randall, if you go to the next slide. And Assistant Chief's already given the totals, and I just wanted to show sort of a breakdown by the division as we operate, what those totals build up to, so that you don't have to try to keep track of it while we're going through this. So you can see on this page that, again, revenue for the budget year upcoming is $2,783 million. That's an increase over last year's budget of over $254 million, and I believe also a record budget for revenue for the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. So you can see these are the highlighted areas that will be broken down by the senior executive officers to get to that. And Randall, if you go to the next page, this next is the budgeted expenditures that include operating expenses and also cost of goods sold. When you combine those two, it's $2,316 million in total for the nation for the upcoming year. That is also an increase over last year of $237 million, or about an 11% increase. So that just, again, I'm trying to describe the framework or the scope of the operations of the Choctaw Nation as a whole. And Randall, if you go to the next page, this shows the budgeted EBITDA, and this is the earnings before depreciation, interest, and amortization. So you can see that's $466,957,000, almost $467 million. That's an increase of over $17 million from last year, with maintenance capital and net operating cash flow is $390 million. That's slightly down from last year, but our capital expense improved so far, $38.2 million. There are several other projects in the pipeline, and that only includes those that are approved so far. Then it shows our free cash flow after everything of $282 million. Again, compared to last year, that's an increase of $125 million. So I just wanted to give that framework as an overall picture of the budgets that's going to be delivered now per the divisional areas. And I think I'm followed next by the judicial branch. And it's David or Paula going to present.
Can you guys hear me? This is David.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is David Burridge. Can you hear me okay?
No.
Cannot.
Can you see me?
No.
Okay.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, thank you. And thank you for letting me present remotely. It's Parents Weekend at University of Oklahoma, and my son's a freshman, so that's where I'm at today. We did the majority of our presentation, obviously in the small group. But is there anything up on the screen for my presentation for the executive summary?
No.
No, not as of yet.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if they're going to put it up or not, but our executive summary, I think, has been provided to you, and the highlights for the judicial branch is our total budget request is about $3.8 million. And about $3.4 million of those expenditures have been covered by the BIA or will be covered by the BIA for fiscal year 25. So, you know, as a court system, we don't generate revenue, or very much revenue. So it's very helpful to have those funds from the BIA because the court system in and of itself is going to wind up costing the Choctaw Nation somewhere around $397,000 for the year. And I remember back to the day when several of the council members were in the room when we decided to merge our court systems. And I can remember my dad was in there and said, this is going to cost us somewhere between $4 and $6 million a year. Do you guys want to do it? And you elected to do it and have not. Your support has stayed steady since, and I do appreciate it. We have just last month, our judges touched about 1,000 cases. And in the coming year, we have our judicial expansion that's going to take place in Durant and our McAllister courthouse that will be constructed. And your support in that is also appreciated. When we were looking at McAllister, we wanted a room and an office. And it turns out that we're building a facility that we can be proud of, that will represent us as a nation and as give us the appearance and of a strong court system. And I think that's very important. There was a little bit of moving around among our cost centers that inside the judicial branch, but everything remained relatively flat from last year with a very minor variance. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer those.
David, could you just let us know the increase in cases that you guys are seeing in the judicial?
Yeah, you know, I went in and kind of started looking at that data this morning, and you know, from 2020 to 23, I was able to pull those stats. The 24 ones haven't been generated yet, but you know, I mean, we're seeing consistently, we're seeing an increase in cases. It has slowed down a lot, which it had to, you know, after McGirt, you know, we were drinking from a fire hose a little bit, but I think if you look at our fiscal year cases, it's about 4,219. So that would be October 1st, 23 to 24. And that's up slightly from last year. There's so many moving parts in and among our cases that I can't give you the exact number, but I will circulate that to everyone because I had 2023's numbers, and then I had fiscal year 23 to 24's numbers, so I couldn't actually lay them on top of each other. But we're going to see an increase over last year, and the difference is it's an increase in numbers, but it's also an increase in judge time that it's required to dispose of some of these cases. And we're so fortunate to have our set of our district judges, and they're probably the best in the state. I really mean that when I say that. But we're able to efficiently, you know, move through the cases that we have. We're trying cases. We're adding in the judicial expansion another courtroom where we can try cases, 2 trials at the same time if we need to, which is a pretty big deal for any courthouse. You know, much less our operation. But like I said, I can't give you lay on top fiscal year 24 numbers yet, and I don't have 23 or 22 to 23, but I can tell you there is going to be an increase just by looking at the monthlies that I have.
Thank you.
David, it's James. A lot of the questions we get, I know in each one of our districts, is how much the judicial branch has grown over since McGirt. Can you kind of expand on how much it's grown the past few?
Yeah, let me pull that up. You know, McGirt is the one word that we use, but really we started growing when Murphy came out, which was the first case that gave us sort of an indication that the Choctaw Nation could potentially start handling all of their own cases. And you know, back in here we go. I got this now. Back in that time, you guys put up with us and you listened to us, but I think Pam Young and I were a little bit of alarmists because we were coming to you guys telling you that all these things could potentially happen. And in you know, that year we were handling 21 felonies. We were handling 39 misdemeanors, 14 traffic tickets, and about 24 civil cases. And we were building this big court system for that. And it didn't make a lot of sense, but we knew what might come, and we knew that we were going to want to start handling our own civil cases. Well, fast forward to 23 numbers, which 24s will be a little bit more than this. We go from 21 felonies to 784 felonies. You go from 14 traffic and wildlife tickets to 1,400. And you go from 39 misdemeanors to almost 1,000 misdemeanors. And so the resources that it takes to just manage those cases, it's pretty crazy. But one thing I will tell you is that from you, from the chief, from the assistant chief, and from the council, every time we've needed anything, you guys have stepped up and taken care of it. You know, we all have the saying that sovereignty isn't free, and a court system is one of the most important aspects of sovereignty. And we just try to do the best we can for you. And if there are any issues or anybody sees anything that we could be doing better, going into the next year, we'll be adding a healing to wellness court in hopes that we can start helping, you know, people with addiction in a way that doesn't include incarceration or fining them. And so that's pretty exciting. And we've gotten a grant for that. And so I'm hoping that the impact that we can have on addiction will be positive, tied in with the other resources that the Choctaw Nation already provides for its people.
Thank you, Judge. Assistant Chief.
Halito, and good morning. I am Heidi Grant, the SEO of Commerce. I'm a proud Choctaw from McCurtain County, and I have served the tribe for almost 28 years, and I'm honored to be here today. The Division of Commerce key areas of focus are gaming and hospitality, retail, agriculture, commerce leasing, print services, and advanced technologies. For fiscal year 2025, the Division of Commerce is projected to generate almost $774 million in profits that will be utilized by the tribe to expand and deliver services for the Choctaw Nation tribal members. The profit target will be achieved with revenues totaling $2 billion and general operating expenditures of $1.2 billion. The Choctaw Nation Division of Commerce currently employs over 6,900 members across the reservation. The key revenue drivers for this coming year will include the continued strong performance for our Choctaw casinos and resorts properties, which include Durant Resort, Picola Resort, Grant Resort, and the new Choctaw Landing. Those combined will be over $1.5 billion in revenue. The first year of our Choctaw Landing Resort in Ho Chi Town which opened in April of this year, includes features of 100 hotel rooms, 600 slot machines, 8 table games, 5 food and beverage venues, including a Starbucks, an outdoor pool and cabanas, a beautiful mercantile store, an outdoor entertainment venue, and the property also includes 362 team members. Another key driver for commerce is the expansion of our commercial leasing program. This department will complete the Haven multifamily apartment complex located in Durant in FY 2025. This Haven complex features 216 multifamily units, including both 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom options. The first building is expected to be opened this month, September of 2024. In FY 25 will be our first year of operations for the Timberview multifamily apartment campus located in Broken Bow. The Timberview opened in June of 24 and features 120 multifamily units, including both 1- and 2-bedroom options. As of August of this year, the Timberview campus is 58% occupied. Commercial leasing will continue operating 41 leases and 48 properties throughout the reservation. Another key driver is our agriculture department, and it will continue its expansion of our Choctaw branded beef program. The team will work in conjunction with local partners to grow, process, and provide high-quality products that will be served in our casinos, independent restaurants, and sold in our country markets. Choctaw beef will also be supplied to local area school in the reservation to help secure high-quality nutritional options for both Choctaw Nation tribal members and general population attending our partner schools. Choctaw Nation was also awarded an LFPA grant, that's the Local Food Purchase Assistance Cooperative Agreement Program, for FY 25 and FY 26, where Choctaw produced beef and pecans will be distributed to Choctaw tribal members across the reservation. Current agriculture operations include over 4,900 cattle spread across 8 ranches in the reservation, 2 improved pecan orchards, the Choctaw Hunting Lodge, the hunting lease land, and our Choctaw branded beef program. Our gaming and hospitality program is the leading profit generator for the Division of Commerce. The gaming and hospitality operates 23 gaming facilities ranging from our flagship property in Durant to casinos located within the travel plazas. In total, gaming and hospitality departments operate over 13,000 slot machines across the reservation, more than 176 table and poker games, nearly 2,000 hotel rooms, 62 restaurants and bars, 4 resort-style properties located in Durant, Grant, Pecola, and Ho Chi Town, 4 traditional-style casinos located in Broken Bow, Idabel, McAllister, and Stringtown, and the remaining 15 locations are Casino 2s in travel plazas throughout the reservation. Retail operations are our next leading profit generators for the Division of Commerce, and the retail department operates 17 locations, 1 mercantile in Ho Chi Town, 3 country markets. Those are all located in food deserts throughout the reservation, and the Choctaw Nation gift shop, which is located in the Durant headquarters. Print services is another one of our commerce divisions. It provides printing and promotional merchandising needs for both external and internal Choctaw Nation departments, including our businesses. This recent facility expansion has enabled our Choctaw services to begin printing services at the capacity to complete a wider variety of print jobs in-house instead of exporting those to other businesses. Advanced technology initiatives is another division of commerce. As we review opportunities of businesses beyond gaming, the Choctaw Nation is leaning on innovation. We continue developing a national test site in Daisy, Oklahoma for research and testing of drones, UAM, and advanced technologies. We are forging industry and business relationships to poise Choctaw Nation as an industry leader to attract business partners for testing and manufacturing to the reservation. Choctaw Commerce Division also has supported 2 business partnership opportunities, including Reba's in Atoka, Oklahoma, for a 50-50 partnership with Reba McIntyre, which opened in January of 2023. Approximately 65% of guests are coming from outside of Oklahoma. This is a regional tourism draw, which generates significant national media exposure for our reservation. Three Rivers Meat Processing Plant opened in April of 2024 in Octavia, Oklahoma. This facility employs 24 team members and will improve our food sovereignty. This facility also improves our ability to value chain capture, processing, and packaging of our Choctaw branded beef programs. This program that I just talked about in totality wraps up what our Commerce Division is doing for our tribal members, and I'm so proud to be part of it. And thank you for allowing me to talk about this today. Do we have any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Grant.
Thank you.
Council, Tracy Harris, Senior Executive Officer of our Health Division and Service Division.
Hello and good morning, everyone. I'm Teresa Jackson. I'm the Senior Executive Officer over Member Services, which includes all of our tribal services and our health programs. I am a Choctaw tribal member and have been employed with the tribe for, it'll be 25 years in October. They know I have a lot of programs, so they have put me on a time limit. So I'm going to talk really fast in order to get those taken care of. The programs that I want to talk about first is our tribal programs, our member programs, and each year we sit back and we look at the number of applications that we've processed to assist our tribal members to make sure not only that we are covering those expenses, but for future growth. We also look at ways to expand in the programs that are needed out there for our tribal members. So I'm excited this year to be able to talk about some of our construction projects that we have going on. In the Yugo area, we will be opening our Yugo Services building that will be able to bring all of our services in that area to one building for our tribal members and create that more of a complex setting so they won't have to go from building to building all over in Yugo to look for services. So we'll have that building opened up this fall. Another building that we're looking at and taking care of that is the same thing at Tallahassee. We have some health initiatives that are going on that will be moving some of our programs out of the building next to the community center. And when they do that, then we will open that building up for a services building there in Tallahassee. We continue to watch our child care programs and look at the wait list of the number of people, number of students and children that we have wanting to get into child care. With that being said, we're expanding the Ida Bell Child Care Center in Stigler, and then we're opening a new child care center there in McAllister. We continue to watch the number of students that we have enrolled at Jones Academy and the condition of the buildings there. And we're proud to be able to provide those students with a new cafeteria, activity center, building all rolled up into one there for them. And of course, we continue on with our initiative through our housing program that Chief has set forward. So we will be continuing to build our ARH, our LEAP, and our IE sites throughout the reservation area based on our greatest need. Another initiative that Chief has that we are continuing on is our apprentice program for our language to be able to save our Choctaw language, and we will be hiring an additional 5 more employees through our language apprentice program to take care of that. Some of the services that we've had that we have budgeted for and we will continue on with those include our student school and activity fund. This past year, we had over 33,000 applications. So we are taking care of all of those, plus whatever we see for growth in the next year. Our higher education program awarded over 8,500 students with scholarships, and career development awarded over 6,400 students with a means to be able to get their certifications. Our Posse program, which is our summer school program, had 3,900 students participate this year, and we had over 2,200 students for summer camps. We provided over 3,200 Thanksgiving vouchers and 3,600 Christmas food vouchers to assist our tribal members with food for the holidays. Some of the other things, initiatives that we've done, our Posse program just was announced to receive a national award for the summer learning Association Award, so they'll be receiving that this fall. And we just got through holding the National JOM Conference there at our resort in Durant, which is the first time ever. One of the big things that we've noticed every year is when we open a program up, the number of people that apply for that program. Higher Ed opened up the applications for the fall on August the 1st, and they received 3,000 applications in the first day. So we've got those processed and be ready to go out. We're very excited for our higher education program. We had a record number of graduates this year at 167 graduates. And excited to the fact that our Choctaw Nation Cultural Services, their involvement in the Marvel film Echo that was released last January. We always try to make sure that we have a seat at the table, whether it's through partnerships, coalitions, state and national levels. And we want to make sure that our leaders in those areas know our concerns, understand where our Choctaw Nation is, and make sure that we have a voice. And in doing that, we have two individuals, Bob Yandale, who is over our housing program. He is on the HUD TIAC committee, and they just had their quarterly meeting in Dallas on Thursday, and they drove up and wanted to see what Choctaw Nation is doing for our housing initiative. So he was able to take HUD officials from DC and tribes from all over the United States around in the Durant area to show them our housing projects, what we're able to provide through our tribally funded program, and let them see what we were able to do. And they were very impressed with those programs. And then, of course, we have Ginger Crawford that is also sits on our national program for our summer and employment programs. So those are some of the initiatives that we have going on through our member services, and making sure that we have everything of those taken care of in the budget for the next year. For our health programs, we have, of course, our hospital or clinics, Recovery Center, Chihuly, Senior Nutrition, OEH, Patient Relations, EDH, Wellness Centers, and Tribal Transit is all covered through the health budget. We have a lot of health construction projects going on too in this area. We're looking at the expansion at the McAllister Clinic, which will double the size of that clinic there. It will expand the services not only in family practice, but in pediatrics. It will offer a same-day clinic, an employee health clinic, and a CT there at McAllister, which is much needed. It's one of our busiest clinics that we have. We're looking at the expansion in the Broken Bow area also, and in expanding that clinic, bringing pharmacy back to that clinic, lab, providing a same-day clinic, employee health clinic there also. We've done an expansion at the Broken Bow Wellness Center. And also at Tallahena, we're looking at the expansion of the Diabetic Wellness Center to take care of our tribal members and making sure that they're able to get in when they need their medical treatment for diabetes. And then, of course, expansion there at Tallahena of the Tallahena Dietary and the remodel there. Some of the things that we're very excited through our health system is because of all of that, we had to make sure that we've budgeted enough dollars to take care of these expansion and providing more providers, nurses, lab techs, radiology techs. So all of those things have been included in the budget. We also look at inflationary factors and where we're having to go, especially with pharmacy and the cost of all of the medications that people take. With that being said, we've had to increase the budget by $6 million just in the pharmaceutical area to cover the cost of the medications. Some awards and some different things that we're looking at through health is our family practice residency program. We've partnered with OSU on this program, and we've had it for almost 13 years. It's a great recruitment tool. We've had 5 residents that have graduated this past June, and we've hired all 5. So 70% of the people that have graduated through this residency program are working within our hospital and clinics. And so we're very proud of the fact that they've trained with us, they understand our patients, and they continue to want to work with us and are ingrained in our health system. So that's always fun for us. Our summer feeding program that we've had took off this year like no other program. We provided 738,000 meals to children over the past couple months. The health system has won numerous awards. We just had the IHS Awards in July in Oklahoma City in the Norman area. And we had 5 different areas within health that won area awards. Our pharmacist, Clint Bullock, received the Area Director's Lifetime Achievement Award. We're very proud of what he's done for pharmacy and in that area. And Mr. Speaker, that is all that I have. If there are any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Before we go to the next individual, I want to highlight one thing that Ms. Jackson mentioned, and that was our summer feeding program. 738,000, is that correct?
Yes.
That were fed. That was when the state of Oklahoma wouldn't step up and provide that program. The Choctaw Nation did, and all of you as tribal council supported that. We appreciate that very much, as well as all 738,000 people that got fed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alito, and good morning. My name's Kellen McCon. I'm the Senior Executive Officer for Integrated Services. What some people would think of integrated services is a support service or a shared service. Under that umbrella, we have human resources, information technology, procurement, and tribal operations. Tribal operations is broke down. That's where construction, our facilities maintenance, real property, roads, and GIS is located. We have a total budget in integrated services of $244.6 million. We have a total head count of 1,878 staff in integrated services. I'll break that down further by each one of those departments, starting with human resources. Our human resources budget for this coming year will be $37.7 million. We currently have 481 staff in the human resources department. Of course, I think everyone knows what human resources consist of, but there's, as all of them, there's a lot of different departments, and I'll just name a few, like recruiting, employee relations, learning and development, organizational development, benefits, and one that a lot of you may be aware of is our Job for the Day program. That's where we hire, temporary staff, and that's a pretty popular program. We currently have 146 participating in that program. Our next department would be information technology. Our IT budget is $140.1 million. We have 674 staff in our IT department. Again, I don't think I need to really break down what IT is. Everybody knows what information technology is. They're the ones that maintain our, all of our systems, networks, the data, all that's what they're responsible for. Our next department is procurement. Our procurement department, compared to most of my departments, are fairly small. We only have 133 staff in there. It's a $11.8 million budget. Of course, procurement, a lot of people think of purchasing, purchasing goods. It is broken down further by, we have sourcing, the purchasing, like I said, receiving, fleet department. The last one I'll mention is our tribal property operations, and that's the one I said was construction, facilities, maintenance, and that group. Our total budget for those departments is $54.4 million. We have 588 head count in those departments. Things of note in that one right now, our construction department manages 31. They're managing 31 active projects, various stages of construction, for a total of $548 million. There's only 18 staff in that actually department, so they're managing 31. So they're pretty busy. Right now we have another 32 projects in planning for $232 million. Okay. The other one would be our roads department. Pretty popular one. You've seen that. They're the ones that builds roads for you. So far in the past 5 years, I want to say they've built 51 miles of road for $45 million. We have in planning coming up 38 miles of road for $70.6 million. Facilities, it's one of our biggest departments due to we maintain over 290 facilities, buildings, 733 yards for housing, 40 yards for the hospital, over 7 million square foot of landscaping. That's all I have. Barring any questions, I'll be followed by John Hobbs, Esquire III.
Thank you, Mr. McConnell.
John Holmes, Senior Executive Officer of Marketing and Communications.
Holly Toe, and good morning. As he said, my name is John Hobbs. I'm the Senior Executive Officer of Communications. Proud Choctaw member and have been here a little over 23 years. So under the Communications Division, we have not only the PR and the marketing side of it, but we also have the government relations team and the special events. So the budget for 2025 is just shy of $30.4 million. Which is actually slightly under the budget of last year. We were able to find some cost savings in not only efficiencies, but also some of the people that we were allowed to hire last year allowed us to be able to take some of the jobs in-house and not have to pay outside services. We have 167 employees in the division, a lot smaller than some of the divisions before, so my report out will be pretty short and sweet. Some of the things that the Marcom, the marketing and communication side is responsible for, that is some of the larger expenses, is the Labor Day Festival. Assuming most of you have been to the Labor Day Festival, it's a large event. Not only does it take a large amount of money to pull that off, but it also requires a lot of planning ahead of time. Even though we just finished this year, we are actually starting our planning for next year to be able to pull that off. To the Together We're More campaign, which you've seen on the billboards, television, radio, and also social media. The Cultural Center marketing, we do a lot of the marketing trying to get more people to come to the Cultural Center. Recruitment campaign. Choctaw Nation is large, have over 13,000 employees, so having a recruiting campaign to try to get the word out there across the United States and try to get people in to the Choctaw Nation to fill some of those jobs. And then of course, circulation, which the biskinnick that goes out, the birthday cards you get, the ornaments, all the different things that go out falls under that division as well. From the government relations side, we have a lot of the lobbyists and the contracts side of things that takes up a large part of that budget, along with the contributions to the legislators out here that we have. So other than that, do we have any questions? Like I said, pretty short and sweet. It's a small division, so.
Thank you, Mr. Hobbs.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I believe I'm going to be followed by Martin Tucker, CFO.
Hi, Todd. Once again, I'll briefly touch on the numbers for my division. Also represent a small division. The budget request for my division for the upcoming year, $33,513,000. That's up over last year of about $1 million or so. Our budget primarily goes to pay for salary and fringe. Currently have 323 folks that did perform all of the accounting and finance functions for the Choctaw Nation, which is a robust operation, obviously. So for the coming year, outside of salary and fringe, we've actually lowered our operating expenses. So outside of payroll, we're going to spend less money than we did last year in the upcoming budget. And we're proud of that effort. We're trying every way we can to be more efficient in the activities that we perform. So last year's budget was $32.3 million. This year's budget, 33.5. So there's an increase of about $1.1 million or so year over year. But the activities that my team performs is for the entire Choctaw Nation. It's not one portion of it or the other. It's every activity that the Choctaw Nation performs. My team does the accounting for that. So that would include when Heidi was up here talking about all the things that we do gaming-wise, commerce-wise, retail-wise, ag, the investments that they've made, my team does all that accounting. Same with Teresa, all the healthcare activities, member service activities, my team does all that accounting as well. Other things that we do construction accounting, we do accounting for the housing authority as well. We have a team that presents this budget, which again is a relatively robust activity. We have a significant cash and investment. That's a very small team, but we carry out all the accounting and finance operations for that. We produce the financial statements. The audit that the nation does, because of the way that we're organized, the audit that we do annually is a significantly complex activity, and our team manages that as well for the nation. We also do the travel authorizations and then reimbursements for travel expenses for everyone in the nation that travels. And then there's a purchase card that runs alongside that, and we manage that activity as well. In addition, everyone wants to get paid. We manage the entire payroll operation for every associate within the Choctaw Nations. And then also some smaller teams, fixed assets, the things that the nation purchases and owns. And we also do all the accounts payable when someone wants to get their bill paid. And then we also manage accounts receivable for folks that owe money to the tribal nation. So that's our request, relatively brief. Any questions at all for finance that I may be able to answer?
Martin, I know that, we do internal audits, but we had that committee expand on our, we do go through an external audit with outside companies, correct? And
Yes.
So our finances, make sure that we're protecting our money for our tribal members,
It
correct?
is a significant operation. I know Mr. Hobbs was talking about they're already planning for the next year's Labor Day. We just finished our audit a few weeks ago, or maybe a month. We've already had several meetings on planning the upcoming audit because it is such a robust operation. It's hard to describe briefly, but again, every activity takes money pretty much to perform. And so whenever there's a transaction that involves money, someone wants to make sure that it was done right. So all that rolls up into reporting. We hire an outside firm. They're one of the largest in the world, probably top 4 in the country that audits all the activities, financial activities of the Choctaw Nation. We've had very good audits the last several years since I've been involved in it. It's getting better and better, but it's because there is a lot of work. There's a lot of effort that goes into making sure that all these activities are performed correctly and documented correctly. No other questions. I'll be followed by Mr. Brian Danker.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker.
Halito, Yakoki. I just want to say good morning to all of you, and just to council and Assistant Chief, just appreciate the opportunity to be here and present in the people's house. We've been here several times. This is the first opportunity I've had to present, and I appreciate that. It's an honor and a privilege. Just want to start off. I'm Senior Executive Officer, Brian Danker, Senior Executive Officer over Legal and Compliance, and it's a pretty broad area. We touch basically all aspects of the nation. We are a service, and what we do is we are here to support those that you've heard speak before me, and Ms. Gwen that you'll hear speak after me. But what we do is we comprise a government legal, commerce legal team. We have a public defender's office, the prosecutor's office, risk management, compliance, insurance, workers' comp, workers' safety. We handle environmental, all of our water resources, water-related issues. So you may have heard about the FERC issue that's going on, where we're opposing the Southeast Oklahoma Power Corporation's application to use Kiamichi water. We handle those things. We handle about I think we're at about $51 million in water projects across the reservation that we're helping communities on. So we do all of those types of things. Then in addition to that, we also have the Gaming Commission, responsible for assisting Heidi's group and overseeing the gaming that we do and the surveillance for all of that. But we have a budget that's just under $60 million to basically accomplish all of these things. And I really appreciate the basically vision and foresight of council and chief and assistant chief in allowing us to build this department and do the things that we need to do. I know we had the question as far as how many cases we've seen on judicial, and you heard Judge Burridge talk about the growth in our criminal system and our court system since McGirt. And again, as he talked about that foresight to get that courtroom set up, we had the same thing. I've been here almost 6 years. When I arrived, we had a contract prosecutor, a single contract prosecutor, and we had some contract attorneys that did public defense work for those going through our court system. We established the prosecutor's office and stood up the public defender's office. We were the first tribe to do so in the state of Oklahoma. We are now a model for other tribes. We are actually out helping other tribes set up public defender's offices. We help other tribes set up their prosecution offices and those type of things. And again, that's a tribute again to the council and giving us the resources to be able to do these things and do them in the right way. And we're very appreciative of that. One of the questions that was asked of Judge Burridge was approximately how many cases they had had. Well, I stepped out and called our lead prosecutor, Mike Haggerty, and we had over 5,000 intakes to the prosecutor's office in the past year. Out of that 5,000 intakes, there were over 4,000 cases that have been filed that would have gone through our judicial system. So that shows you that just tremendous growth that we've seen in that area. And again, it takes the resources to exercise that sovereignty and do those things, and we're appreciative for that. I want to talk about just a couple other things that we do as far as on the legal side. We've handled over 2,000 contract requests in the past year, and that comes in again things that these other departments need to support their operations. We review those things, make sure the nation is protected. So that's one of the things that we do there. On our risk management side, one of the things that we have that we've been able to implement a few years ago is what's called a captive insurance company. As you've heard, the increase in our facilities and all those types of things, the increase in our number of associates, that increases greatly our insurance costs. And I'm sure, many people feel that at home as well. But through the establishment of our captive insurance, we've saved the nation over $9 million through that process. And in addition, we've got currently unpaid claims reserves of $11 million and an additional $21 million that's in a money market investment account that without the captive insurance company that we manage, that would be held by a third-party insurance company, and we would not get the benefit of that, having that money. So those are just some of the types of things that we do. Some other things that we have going on right now, like I mentioned, we have the FERC projects, we have the water projects going on across the reservation. We also handle the wildlife management. As you know, we now have are responsible for hunting and fishing within the reservation. Tribal members can hunt and fish without having a state license. Our department manages those programs, and that's been very successful. And we now have an intertribal agreement so that our tribal members can hunt and fish on other reservations. And again, that's all managed and handled within our wildlife department. I'd like to hit just a couple of awards and highlights that we've had. We had established the Ani Center, which is the Family Justice Center, and that is to help protect children within our reservation. And it's a place basically that's now become the focal point within the reservation for law enforcement to bring neglected or abused children for interviews. And we do that for tribal members, non-tribal members, our light horse police, for the feds, and for state, counties. Any type of law enforcement can come and use that facility. That facility is now in its second year of operation, and it has now been recognized as it was the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges, and presented together with Judicial and Children and Family Services as a model for other courts. And that system has now been recognized as the top system within the state of Oklahoma. So not only have we are the only tribe to have that set up within the state, we've also been recognized as the top facility in the state of Oklahoma, and we're very proud of that. We have also, as part of our worker safety, which we handle, again, worker safety. We make sure that our guests are safe when they come to our facilities, all those types of things. We do not want our tribal members injured. We do not want our guests injured. We do not want our associates injured. And we have a very extensive safety program for that. We have now received the National Safety Council Prestigious Occupation Excellence Achievement Award. We received that in 2023 and 2024, and we are the only tribe to ever have received this award. We have also been recognized for the Towering Spirit Award for keeping Oklahoma beautiful, and that falls under our recycling program. So we continue to again, see a lot of really first for a tribal nation within legal and compliance. And that's all a tribute to, again, the resources that we've been provided and what we've been able to do. You guys have any questions? Yakaki.
Thank you, Mr. Banker.
Last one, Mr. Speaker, and Tribal Council will be Tammy Gwynn, Senior Executive Officer of Strategy and Analytics.
Holly Toe, and my name is Tammy Gwynn. I'm from the heart of the Choctaw Nation. That's a shout out to our councilwoman, Jennifer Woods, Wilburton, Oklahoma. And I just thought about it when everybody's talking about their tenure. I have the most tenure of any of our SEOs. I've been with the tribe 34 years. It's my 34th year with the Choctaw Nation. I'm honored to serve the tribe. I started at Bingo, which is now Division of Commerce, when I was in college selling bingo packs, and it's just phenomenal. And our honored Teshka warrior, when he was talking about how his mom would have been so proud, I think the tribe has just grown phenomenal. And it's been wonderful to have a front row seat watching this growth. Chief when he started his first term, he started a new division called Strategic Development, and that is the name of the division that I now lead. And the whole role and mission of strategic development is to grow our tribal businesses and our economies, which are in our reservation. Support the tribe with reporting analytics that would drive data-driven decisions so we could achieve the vision of the tribe through implementation. And this is our 4th year of our 5-year strategic plan. The departments that fall under it is the Office of Strategy, which includes continuous improvement, business and tribal development, reporting and analytics, our operational excellence, which is guest experience, and then our economic development departments, which is Choctaw Small Business, Economic Development, and Tourism. I'll start with our Office of Strategy and Continuous Improvement. We started off with a 5-year strategic plan, and we are now into our 4th year of it. And every one of our objectives in our divisions, we lead with our projects that they talked about, all these wonderful projects of aligning with one of these pillars. Our first is strengthen financial growth and economic sustainability. 2, support our service delivery to improve the quality of life for our tribal members. Protect and promote our culture and exercise our sovereignty. Become the employer of choice. And last but not least, achieve digital, data, and communication transformation. Our second department, which falls within our division, is Business and Tribal Development. We support all of the divisions that went before me with development of business cases and operational plans that include financial forecasted models and that also give them forecasted outcomes, whether it be a service or a business, and gives our tribal leadership the comprehensive information to approve the funding, which is our tribal council for growth or development of new services. These funds are used for growth of new and expansion of our businesses and, like I said, our tribal services and our health programs. We worked on tribal businesses and that we provided the business cases to our tribal council for approval last year in FY23 of $220 million. And this year we have right now in planning or has already been approved by our tribal council over $303 million. But every decision our tribal council and our tribal executive branch makes is based on data, and we're so happy that we get to be part of that. Our second department is reporting and analytics. We provide reporting and analytics services to all of our divisions, and we assist the tribe with data-driven decisions. It includes dashboard development and reporting KPIs for operating metrics of all of our programs, not just our businesses. So when Teresa is looking to expand our language apprentice program, or if we're looking to expand any of our departments like education programs, we do business case reviews and we do operating KPIs for her to make her decisions. The department also facilitates financial reviews, including the operating overlaid metrics that are so important, conduct outcome reviews for our short-term and long-term goals, forecasting and planning. We also do labor analytics, that is scheduling to demand a volume based on our businesses and our tribal services. And we were very blessed that Chief and Assistant Chief asked our RNA division to lead our COVID committee when COVID came in 2020. It's a cross-functional department that our RNA team leads and chairs that recommends the approval and the allocation to our tribal leadership.
which was over $1.7 billion in COVID relief funding. And I'd like to let you know that in FY21, FY22, and FY23, we had 0 audit findings, according to our finance team. They do a great job coordinating with all of our departments across the Choctaw Nation on making sure our spending plan is adhered to federal guidelines. Our operational excellence and guest experience teams operates our departments that make sure that we operate all of our departments, not just commerce, but also tribal service at the highest level of guest service. We navigated the many challenges that we had that continued on the recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic. And how we do business changed. It went from a face-to-face to a lot of digital activity as far as how we dealt with our customers. And we've done such a good job. I'm very proud of that team. We just last year launched a health clinic outpatient survey that goes out to our tribal members every time they visit one of our outpatient clinics. And this year, you might have received our second tribal member survey on our tribal member services. And I think that survey just closed and we'll be tabulating those results. Our economic development departments are robust in including economic development, where our teams work with our communities on making sure that we attract business and industry. We retain the businesses that are located within our reservations and understand that those jobs are very important, because the Choctaw Nation can't own and operate every job, but we want to make sure that our reservation communities are thriving. So we want to support those business recruitments to come to our reservation to provide those. Our economic impact report was published this year. We do it usually every 2 years. We launched it on 21 members, and I'm excited to say that we have a $3.2 billion economic impact for the state of Oklahoma. In the Choctaw Nation, this is just the Choctaw Nation, we supported 20,000 jobs throughout Oklahoma, and we paid over $1 billion in those supported jobs in wages and benefits. Our tribe is such a vibrant and very key economic driver just to the state of Oklahoma, and we're so proud that we got to report those numbers. Our business and economic recruitment and expansion activities included working with the PODO team, which is the city and industrial authorities, on recruiting a new manufacturing plant that created 60 new jobs, a new manufacturing plant that located in Atoka, Oklahoma, that is starting their U.S.-based activities that invested $14 million, as well as they attended many recruitment trade shows, and we have many other announcements that are going to be happening in the next 90 days. Our Choctaw Development Fund funded 82 small business forgivable loans for $5,000 each, and these are our Choctaw tribal members that are starting new businesses throughout our 12-county area. We deployed over $1 million through the program, and we have that on our budget for this coming year. Our tourism department, we measure what our economic impact is through tourism, and in 23 it was $1.9 billion, an increase of 2.2% compared to 22. Our generation is supporting over 14,000 tourism jobs through all of our state parks and all of our tourism-based businesses. They attend over 19 travel shows all over the United States annually to promote our state parks, our casino tourism-based businesses that we own and operate, as well as our tourism partners that own and operate businesses throughout our reservation and employ lots of our tribal members. Our small business department has been one of our greatest successes that we've launched, and we now operate and we opened 2 Charterpreneur Centers. Our one in Idabel is thriving, and this year we opened up our one here in Durant that offers co-working space for our Choctaw tribal members that doesn't need a full-time storefront, where they can be housed, and it is at our old tribal headquarters in Durant, Oklahoma. Currently, we grew from 1,530 businesses in 23 to 1,828 Charterpreneurs in 24 for a 19% growth. The Charterpreneur program has directly supported over 5,000 jobs. We've assisted 400 business on startups, 200 businesses on expansions, and we provided over 12,000 business advising hours. Our next year, we'll be launching, we're very excited, a state small business credit initiative. It is SSBCI. We was awarded through our Department of Treasury $45 million that will be deploying in FY24. That will include a venture capital fund to attract some of the small businesses to our reservation, as well as some of loan assistance on collateral to some of our charterpreneurs within the reservations. In closing, and I guess last but not least, our total division budget is relatively flat, all in, including our commerce analytics, which is marketing analytics, which is on the commerce, is a little over 32 million, a little over 30 million on the general fund. In order to remain flat, we're driving operational efficiencies, and you'll hear that term a lot, as well as we are looking at all of our opportunities for continuous improvement projects. We are growing by 4 associates. We have a small division, like some of my other counterparts, my peers. We're around 145 employees. We are adding 4 positions, which will include 2 reporting and analytics marketing analysts and 2 business development analysts. We're achieving that by decreasing 2 open headcount that was in my division that was not filled last year. So our overall growth on headcount is only 2. I would like to say Yakoku to the tribal people that's here today and to our tribal council for your time and speaking. It's an honor to serve our great Choctaw Nation, and I'm so excited for our next fiscal year. Yakoki. Is there any questions, Mr. Speaker?
No, we don't, but just
Okay, Yakuki.
take a moment just to, on behalf of council, to thank all the SEOs for what you do. And I'd like to address the crowd, the audience, as well as the young. Some of the Spooky Choctaws, the older Choctaws may remember that back in the day, all we remember had was the Indian clinic and the commodity truck. And for the young, you know, that wasn't very much that the Choctaw people had. But as you listened to the SEOs present their duties, 8 individuals with over 150 programs in total. That's what they oversee. And on behalf of council, again, I'd like to thank those SEOs for what they do. Like Council Danker had mentioned, and we hear it quite often. We as council, we hear this quite often, is that the Choctaw Nation is a model for other tribes. We really are. And very proud of that.
That's good that this council works with that leadership team as well as the assistant chief and the chief. And we have attorneys here too that try to keep us on the straight and narrow.
Mr. Speaker, if I could, in the spirit of presenting the budget, if I could go ahead and
Councilman Dillard,
give the, present the legislative budget, which is relatively flat. Last year, our budget was $4.35 million, and this year it's $4.39 million for essentially a 1% change. And the bulk of that is just getting a little bit more efficient, with the increase probably being in the COLAs. So really kind of uneventful as far as the legislative budget this year. So but that's the legislative budget.
Thank you, Councilman Dillard. I think about 3 years ago, I think council had requested the SEOs to come and present, all in the name of transparency for our people. I hope the audience listened and got something a little more knowledgeable on how the Choctaw Nation operates. As far as the billions of dollars that the Choctaw Nation contributes to the state of Oklahoma, we are a great financial engine for the state of Oklahoma. And myself, and I'm sure the council will agree, that we are certainly proud of that, standing where the Choctaw Nation is today. Assistant Chief.
Mr. Speaker, that concludes our budget presentation, but I do want to say to all of our leadership out there that presented this morning. Like I said earlier, they work very hard at balancing their budgets with the band, and I appreciate the opportunity to work with them as well as all of you. Alongside all of you as well.
Thank you, Assistant Chief.
Mr. Speaker,
Councilman Carr.
when it's appropriate, I'd like to give the ARPA report.
Okay. Reports of committees.
There you go. Just didn't want to forget. We have some updates for the American Rescue Plan Act funding and programs that we've put in place this year. But the total funding we received from the ARPA in ARPA funding was $1,094,385,559. So far, we have committed but not fully expended. And that includes $523.3 million for direct member services, the food card, and the small business assistance, and $440.3 million in projects and initiatives related to expansion of services, public health, and vaccination incentives. So have right about $100 million left. And the remaining funding is either associated with planned projects going through due diligence, evaluation, or being held in reserve for future response. We have several projects currently in evaluation and planning stages. We're working through procurement for final pricing on some of them per bidding requirements that we need to get completed. But the new projects that we've put in process this month, of course, the Elder and Disability Food Security Program opened up July 30th. The last date to apply is September 30th, the end of this month. I talked to somebody the other day. They haven't actually applied yet, so make sure and encourage everybody out there that to apply for that if they qualify. And that starts with new cards being issued October 1st and November 1st, and then there'll be a payment on December 1st. The projects that we have going into process as far as expansion of services, the first one's in District 11. It's the Jones Academy expansion. Teresa mentioned it, $15.3 million. The Jones Academy expansion, which includes updates to the cafeteria, kitchen, student lobby, lounge, weight room, and gymnasium, will help alleviate the crowding of staff and students at the facility during pandemic conditions, reducing the potential for COVID-19 outbreaks while promoting healthy childhood environments. Next one is the expansion of the Durant Judicial system for $10 million. Per final rule, tribal governments are permitted to utilize funds up to the calculated revenue loss amount of the continuation of government services. The Choctaw Nation judicial system and its facilities are key components to the overall operation of the Choctaw Nation government and its provisions of criminal and civil judicial services to tribal members. Thirdly is the new Poto Community Center. It's going to cost $8.1 million. This new facility is necessary to meet the growing needs of the tribal members utilizing tribal services at this facility as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic while maintaining safe social distance. Up next is the Hugo Government Services Building, second floor, for $3 million. The project will provide an expansion of services to tribal members at the Hugo campus. The Hugo campus serves the southeastern portion of the Choctaw Nation Reservation. During the COVID-19 pandemic, temporary facilities were used in Hugo to properly social distance associates and tribal members applying for tribal services. This expansion is necessary to meet the growing needs of tribal members utilizing tribal services at the center. We have two water projects. We've had several water projects where we've helped our communities in the reservations, but we have two going in this month. The first one is Pushmataw Hall Rural Water District Number 3 for $4.2 million in allocated funds. And this project will address much-needed upgrades to Pushmataw Hall County Rural Water District Number 3, the distribution system, which is located in the Choctaw Nation Reservation. The second one is LaFleur County Rural Water District number 17 for system improvements. $2.3 million in allocated funds. And again, this project will address the much-needed upgrades to LaFleur County Rural Water District number 17 system located in the Choctaw Nation Reservation. Lastly, we're moving this month into the process is a road repair at the Idabel parking lot. Excuse me, for $162,000. One of the primary funding drivers for the overall operation of the Choctaw Nation are funds it receives tied to the commerce business operation. This parking lot is used by multiple commerce businesses whose profits are utilized to fund programs designed to support the Choctaw Nation tribal members. This parking lot has deteriorated and is in need of repair. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Carr. You heard Councilman Carr mention the water projects costing millions of dollars. You know, that's what we as Choctaw Nation do. There are tribal members live along the water routes as well as everybody else. So we not only serve everybody, what we try. And we do a good job at it too. Any further reports of committees? Moving down, election of speaker. Any nomination?
Nominate Speaker Williston. I second that.
Second.
Any further nomination? Because there's only one nomination for the position of speaker. I hate calling my own name, but Thomas Wilson is elected by acclamation. Okay, next up, Speaker Pro Tempore.
Nominate Tony Ward.
Ward nominated. Seconded. Further nominations for Pro Tem. Okay, because there's only one nominee for the position of Pro Tem, Tony Ward's elected by acclamation. So here, Secretary. Your motion for Secretary. The nomination for Secretary.
I'll nominate Ron Perry.
Second.
Ron Perry. Nominated. Seconded.
Need to make a ballot for everybody.
Any other nominations for Secretary?
Make a motion that we close nominations.
Okay, because there's only one nominee for the position of Secretary. Ron Perry is elected by acclamation. All right, do we have a nomination for Chaplain?
Nominate Jennifer Woods.
Second.
Nomination of Jennifer Woods. Nominated and seconded. Any further nominations for Chaplain?
Make a motion we seize nominations.
Since she is the only nominee for the position of Chaplain, Jennifer Woods is elected by proclamation. Acclamation, I'm sorry. Okay, moving on down, we got appointment of Sergeant at Arms. Our fortunate Sergeant at Arms, he's in Oklahoma City today, Mr. Darrell Ward, but he'll be back with us next month. So he's appointed as Sergeant at Arms. Parliamentarian, huh? You know a good one. I think we got the best already. I nominate Jay Renley Dennis as our parliamentarian.
Second. It's an appointment.
That's appointment. And recording secretary, man, that's a tough one.
Our application's still out there.
I appoint, Patty Hawkins as our recording secretary. Her sidekick, Marva Jo.
Which they do a great job for us.
Certainly do.
Very thankful. Thank you.
Okay, I believe that's it. Okay. All right. Moving right along. New business, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, Council Bill A, approve the disposal of capital assets dash vehicle. Speaker, make a motion to vote on this council bill.
I'll second that, Mr. Speaker.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comment?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the Choctaw Nation has vehicles that are broken, obsolete, have exceeded their useful life, or simply no longer have a use to the nation. This bill asks for approval to dispose of vehicles with a current cost of $87,960.00, a net book value of $0.00, and a fair market value of $50,792.00, including all listed inventory as attached in Exhibit A. This council bill furthers the nation's strategic goal of strengthening financial growth and economic stability by safeguarding of assets through providing operational efficiencies. Assets that are disposed of with this bill will reduce repair and maintenance costs while also providing funds back to the internal services, leasing, and/or the general fund. That is the purpose of this bill, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Councilman Frazier. Any further comments? Vote.
Speaker Williston, before we record the votes, Eddie Bohannon was on the phone during the roll call. We just didn't hear him. So I just wanted to let you guys know he will be voting and the votes will be changed on the minutes to reflect him joining us.
Speaker Williston,
Yes.
Tony Ward,
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon,
Yes.
Jess Henry,
Yes.
Ron Perry,
Yes.
Jennifer Woods,
Yes.
Joey Tom,
Yes.
Perry Thompson,
Yes.
James Dry,
Yes.
Anthony Dillard,
Yes.
Robert Carr,
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Council Bill B, approve the disposal of capital assets dash equipment. Mr. Speaker, make a motion to vote on this council bill.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comment?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the purpose and need of this council bill is the Choctaw Nation has capital assets that are broken, obsolete, have exceeded their useful life, or simply no longer have a use to the nation. This bill asks for the approval to dispose of furniture, fixtures, and equipment with the cost of $140,747.57, a net book value of $47,753.73, and a fair market value of $7,121.98, including all listed inventory as attached in Exhibit A. This council bill furthers the nation's strategic goal of strengthening financial growth and economic stability by safeguarding of assets through providing operational efficiencies. Assets that are disposed of with this bill will reduce repair and maintenance costs while also providing funds back to the internal service, leasing, and/or general fund. That's all I have, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Councilman Ward. Any further comments? Vote.
Speaker Williston,
Yes.
Tony Ward,
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon,
Yes.
Jess Henry,
Yes.
Ron Perry,
Yes.
Jennifer Woods,
Yes.
Joey Tom,
Yes.
Perry Thompson,
Yes.
James Dry,
Yes.
Anthony Dillard,
Yes.
Robert Carr,
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Council Bill C, authorize the chief to place property in LaPorte County in trust status of the United States of America. Speaker, I make a motion to vote on this council bill.
Mr. Speaker, if you would, I'd like to second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comments?
Mr. Speaker, purpose and need of this council bill authorizes, approves the chief of the Choctaw Nation or his designee to make a request to the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Interior to place property in LaFleur County, Oklahoma into trust status with the United States of America in accordance with Bureau of Indian Affairs policy and procedures for the acquisition of land. This council bill supports the nation's strategic goal of strengthening
financial growth and economic stability, as well as supporting service delivery to improve tribal member quality of life by acquiring additional trust land to accommodate the continued growth of tribal membership and tribal services within the Choctaw Nation. I would highly recommend we pass this motion.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman Henry. Any further comment? Vote.
Speaker Williston,
Yes.
Tony Ward,
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon,
Yes.
Jess Henry,
Yes.
Ron Perry,
Yes.
Jennifer Wood. Yes. Joey Tom,
Yes.
Harry Thompson,
Yes.
James Dry,
Yes.
Anthony Dillard,
Yes.
Robert Carr,
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Council Bill D, approve the FY/2025 annual travel budget of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion we vote on this council bill.
I'll second.
Motion made, seconded. Questions, comments?
Mr. Speaker, the purpose and need of this council bill is to approve the FY 2025 annual travel budget in the anticipated amounts of revenue being $2,783,681,492. Operating expenses being $1,822,974,566. Maintenance capital expenditures, 76 million. I'm gonna just start rounding, so 76 million. Cost of goods sold, 493 million. And net revenue from operations in the amount of 390 million. Mr. Speaker, that's the purpose of the council bill.
Thank you, Councilman Dillard.
I'd like to also add just in the spirit of transparency, just, you know, a way of when we do this budget, it's always a give and take. And I wanted to just share a little bit of insight from myself. Just, you know, by and large, 95% of the budget I really agree with, and there's a little piece that I don't, and I'm gonna talk about that real quick. I wanted to take a moment to discuss the budget we're preparing to vote on. We're proposing an additional 70 million for the Sustainability Fund, which as of July 31, 2024, holds 1.66 billion. Let me offer a quick analogy to explain my view on governance. Imagine a city creating a sustainability fund for future projects. Now, if I were driving on the streets and hit a pothole, an ongoing issue that ruined my tire, I'd feel they were failing their duty by saving money instead of fixing an immediate need of the roads. It's like focusing on building a sprinkler system while fires are burning around you. We all know about the sustainability fund is vital. At the same time, we've built enough reserves to handle any emergency. Instead of continuing to grow the fund at a current pace, let's address pressing issues here on the reservation. How does allocating more to the sustainability fund support our core objective of supporting service delivery to improve quality of life for Choctaws? Some of the urgent needs I see include, and for sure is top on my list, is education. Our state's education system is ranked 44th in the nation. To ensure we're working towards better performance in our communities, let's set measurable goals, KPIs for our schools on the reservation, and invest in our youth. Mental health. The need for behavioral health services is snowballing, especially after the trauma of the pandemic. Let's prioritize exploring how to expand access to counseling services, not to mention substance abuse treatment facilities, which haven't seen significant growth in years. Infrastructure. We know our utility infrastructure needs more significant support. Small rural communities require assistance navigating grants and upgrading water and city infrastructure across the reservation. Housing. We should invest in commercial housing initiative to build market rate homes and address ongoing housing shortage. A comprehensive housing study is needed to assess the demands of all demographics. Ultimately, we must ask ourselves, are we doing everything possible to make our reservation a place where families can grow and thrive? The budget is our annual responsibility, but its impact goes beyond numbers. It's about ensuring prosperous future for our people. Let's rise to the occasion and move the Choctaw Nation towards greatness. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Dillard. No, I certainly agree. We can, all entities can always do more. I'd like to ask, Assistant Chief to direct the SEOs. Councilman Dillard, he touched on several different avenues, if you will. Those different avenues fall under the umbrella of several SEOs. As they have heard Councilman Dillard, I asked that we pay heed to his request and collect data, if you will, as to the most. Now, they're all needed, but education was top of his list. So let's search and see how and where we can make the biggest impact. Where can we do the improvement, the most improvement? I think we can all see the need everyday interactions. The course of a day, we can see the need, but let's really focus on finding that particular great need. And I agree with Councilman Dillard. We can make an impact. We can make a bigger impact. But we'll hold committee meetings, and I pray that when we do meet in committee meetings that we as council are heard, and the information gathered accordingly to benefit all our people. So, thank you, Councilman Dillon.
Mr. Speaker, just to respond to your comments and Councilman Dillard's comments, definitely we'll take it back to our senior executive officers and speak with them about it. And I'm glad they're here in attendance. I do want to ask for clarity. Are we asking to change our strategic plan, which we all meet quarterly upon, that all of us have agreed towards the path for the tribe? That's one question I would have. And also in regards to the points of Councilman Dillard's comments, obviously our behavioral health condition of the state and United, as well as to our Choctaw Nation. Counselors in general is a tough field to find right now. I know I've spoken with our healthcare senior executive officer, Teresa Jackson, about this, and it's tough finding students to go into that field. One reason obviously being the burnout from COVID and being a heavy lift for them, more patients, which I agree we need to concentrate on. Someone in the substance abuse counseling field myself, I know quite well our treatment centers are not full. That's always a juggling act. Want to come in, parents and grandparents want their children or grandchildren to come in more than the actual kids do. So that's always a struggle and a juggling act for those folks to come in. The infrastructure, in regards to that, I believe Tammy Gwen addressed that through the ARPA dollars, that many of our communities, if not most or all, have been touched by ARPA dollars, whether roads or water infrastructure. The one thing I also want to point out is we don't want to become the state or federal government where we are borrowing money or any money that we do not have. Right now, we currently have access to build projects, community centers, wellness centers, other things, other items to meet our tribal members' need. But, the educational, point, I'm not sure how we could insert ourselves into a state public school system. I believe that would be tough. They would have to accept our help, which we already help through the posse program and through other programs, as well as our, teacher, at a loss of words, what that's called, Teresa. That's, where we bring in all of the teachers. This year, we didn't have enough room in the casino to bring all the teachers in for teacher development, professional development. That's it. So there are some things that we can do, and I do agree. That's why we have a great strategic plan that our team has put together. And like I said, all of you for been presented that we meet on quarterly and review for changes or adjustments. So, but we'll take that back into consideration.
Thank you, Councilman, excuse me, Assistant Chief. Everything that was mentioned, it is within our strategic plan already. I just like to, focus on finding something where we can make an immediate impact. Because there was a lot of things mentioned, and we understand that, we just can't do everything all at once, but we can start nipping at the bud eventually. And again, everything that was mentioned is within our strategic plan already. So, thank you.
I'd just like to mention, we've been working on this budget for several months. And we've had a lot of questions and we brought up similar, comments or questions about what we could do. But I'd never really heard it presented like this. So I think that's the thing we need to bring up early on so we can see it instead of waiting right here till the end of the budget season and then throwing it out there. So it's what we need to work on next year if we're looking at doing something like that, even if we can.
Yes, I agree with you, Councilman Carr. Okay.
That's all council bills, Mr. Speaker.
We need to vote. We need to vote. Yeah. Vote on it.
Yeah.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further comments? Vote.
Speaker Williston,
Yes.
Tony Ward,
Yeah.
Eddie Bohannon,
Yes.
Jess Henry,
Yes.
Ronald Perry,
Yes.
Jennifer Woods.
Yes.
Joey Tom,
Yes.
Terry Thompson,
Yes.
James Dry,
Yes.
Anthony Dillard,
Yes.
Robert Carr,
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes. That's all council bills, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. For the audience, we discussed these at length this past Thursday. We've been, as Councilman Carter mentioned, we've been talking about the budget for the last few months. It's not like we came in here and just voted on these council bills all at once. Other new business. For council. Assistant, what's your title, Marva? Yeah, administrative assistant left us a little short survey. This is gonna be a reference to this, what do you call it, dais? But anyway, it's lowering this counter. She got a little survey, and we got Crystal King. She's gonna take our decision back to the architect to have either lower it or leave it as is. You guys have been sitting at your desk, in your chairs. How y'all feel about this? So that's what this little survey is about. So if you can, fill it out and give it to Marva. She in turn can give it to Crystal, and she can go from there. Okay. Secondly, there was something. Okay. Just for clarification, Teresa Jackson. We have a council discussion meeting on the 23rd of this month. Is that the day that you're gonna come and discuss the community events with us? Or have you made a date for that yet?
That will be after the committee meeting in November.
After the committee? November, okay,
I mean, October, I'm sorry.
okay. On that same day, okay. October 8th. That's when we'll meet to discuss the community event. Budget items. Any other new business?
I'd like to thank the SELs too today for taking the time to come up and present. I know it's important to not only us, but the tribal members, you know, across the United States and stuff to see where we're at and appreciate all your hard work and due diligence. So Teresa, I'd like to give a shout out to the, you know, the casino held the National JOM Conference. Some of the council attended. It was so well put together and the staff, your staff, the casino staff, represented the Choctaw Nation so well. Can't tell you how many compliments that council received from tribes across the United States on just the execution of the whole, all the meetings and everything. But you know, sometimes the casino didn't get a shout out either. You know, I know they drive all the revenue, but there's more just than the revenue. It's just, it's how you execute big events like that. And for them to put us, you know, on the map as far as the service and everything, and your staff putting all that together, working well with the casino staff, just, I think they need to commend both departments.
Thank you, Councilman Dry. Any other new business? The old business. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion made, second. Thank everybody for coming, especially FEOs for the information that you shared. Cab group, by all means, come back every second Saturday. More than welcome. Let us stand for a closing prayer.
We need to vote.
Adjournment. Vote.
Speaker Wilson,
Yes.
Tony Ward,
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon,
Yes.
Jess Henry,
Yes.
Ron Perry,
Yes.
Jennifer Woods,
Yes.
Joey Tom,
Yes.
Perry Thompson, James Dry,
Yes.
Anthony Dillard,
Yes.
Robert Carr,
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Captain.
Our Father, we just come to you, Lord. We thank you for this time. We thank you, Lord, for your blessings. And Father, as we heard all the reports about the businesses and growth and services to our people, Lord, help us, Father, to be good stewards of the dollars that are there. And Lord, we just lift up those that work in those departments, Father, that take time away from their families, the casino workers, the workers at Jones, and all those that have jobs that they have to work nights and holidays, Father. We thank them, Lord, for all the work that they do, that it brings dollars so that we can serve our people, that we can take care of them. And Lord, we just ask that you be with us, that we do our jobs to the best of our ability, Lord. And we just thank you again, Father, for blessing our great nation, and help us, Lord, to continue to work hard and to serve you, Lord, and to serve our people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Y'all okay?
Yeah.